What's up, fellas? So I had a loyal patron supporter that wanted to know the cons and pros of dealing with women with low interest. Now, before you motherfuckers, whenever the word dealing with low interest women come up, guys go into this deep end because, as we all know, everybody on YouTube is an alpha male who only wants to deal with high interest women. Okay, whatever. All right, but let me point some out to you guys. Low interest, when I refer to low interest, guys, I'm not talking about the woman that won't set a date or playing games and I will see and all that bullshit. All I'm talking about when I refer to low interest is I mean women who don't have high interest, which means that she'll set a date with you, but she won't pursue you. So, and let me put it to you like this. Maybe this will clear it up even a little bit better. If you got a woman that you're dealing with right now and you call her and she'll set a date, she'll show up, but she's not actively pursuing you, which means she's not texting you first or initiating contact, she has low interest. Even if you're fucking her, okay? Because you can theoretically fuck a woman once she got an interest level or of a 7, 7.5, give or take, somewhere in there. She technically can sleep with you, but she still don't give a fuck if she ever see you again. All right, how many of you guys have had women that you were sleeping with, but she still didn't pursue you? That means she still had low interest. That means that she just wanted to have sex with you, but as in you as a whole, she still had low interest. She just wanted to get her rocks off. But as in you, she really didn't give a fuck. That's what I'm talking about. So whenever a woman is not pursuing you guys, essentially what she's saying is, if I never hear from you again, I really don't give a damn. That's what I'm talking about. So that is what we're talking about when we're talking about low interest. We're talking about women that will set a date, women that do like you, but they don't have high interest. They're not pursuing you. All right. That means that she might be kissing you. She might be making out with you. You might even be sleeping with her. And she still has low interest. As crazy as that sounds, guys. And well, it's what my book of low interest is. Your book of low interest might be different. All right. My book of low interest means that if she's not pursuing you, she has low interest, which means that she really don't give a damn if she ever heard from you again. That's my book of. So I'm just want to put that out there. All right. So I'm going to do the pros first, guys. The number one pro to dealing with low interest, guys, is, and there is pros, motherfucker, it builds game. Now, guys, first of all, what is game? We're going to cut the minutia. What is game? Game is this. This is what game is, guys. Game is my game plan to raise your interest till you sleep with me. That's what game is. I have a game to seal this deal. That means that when I met this woman at Starbucks, she liked me enough to give me her number. She liked me enough to go on a date, but she don't like me enough to sleep with me. I have a strategy to raise her interest to get her to the point of sleeping with me. And if you're a purple pill guy, your game plan to get her to like you, to get in a relationship with you. All right, guys, that is what game is. That is why I do not like direct game. When any of you guys who you swear by direct game, the reason I don't like direct game is because direct game is the anti-game. What direct game is, guys, in a nutshell, what direct game is, I have no confidence in my ability to raise your interest in me other than my physical. So if you somebody who swear by direct game and just being straight up in front from the get-go, essentially what you're saying is, if you don't like me enough physically as is right now, I have no confidence in my ability to raise your interest with my mouthpiece. That is what direct game is. Now you can phrase it and you can try to break it down and do all the bullshit you want to. That is why direct game is. People who use direct game, the reason why they use direct game is because their ability to raise a woman's interest with their mouthpiece sucks. And so what they've came up with, since my game sucks so bad, bitch, either you want to fuck me for what you see me or I won't even waste my time because my game sucks. And y'all want to know what that's akin to? All right, y'all guys know I was a trainer at the gym, right? And what would happen is you would have these trainers who couldn't sell, right? The only sales that they could do was what we call hot leads. Do y'all guys know what a hot lead is? This is what a hot lead is. A hot lead is when a person joins the gym and they tell management or the members advisors that they're very interested in buying training. And what would happen was the managers of the gym, this hot lead, somebody who's already told them that they're very interested in buying training, they would put that person with somebody that they really liked because they knew it was pretty much a done deal. That's what I consider in sales a direct approach. In other words, the deed is already done. You ain't got to do shit. What I call having game is to go up to somebody in the gym who's been training at that gym for 3 years, 4 years, done turned down every trainer that done tried to sell to them, and you go up and you sell to them. That's what I call having game. Game is the ability to overcome objections. So when y'all guys go on a date, essentially what the woman is doing is she has objections as into why she should not sleep with you or get in a relationship with you or even go on a second date with you. So what she has is objections. Why shouldn't I open my leg? So she go to testing. She go to asking you questions, all type of shit. And what she's basically doing, guys, in so many words, is she's throwing up objections to not sleep with you. Your game has to overcome that. When I went up to people in the gym to sell them, they always had objections. Just, you know, time, money. I never went up to nobody in the gym and said, hey, are you interested in getting some training? Oh, yeah, oh, man, I'm so glad you approached me. I'm finna go get my wallet right now. I never went up to nobody and they did that, ever. They always, well, you know, I'm following this sprint program, this wilderness program, you know, they have all these type of programs on their phone. Well, I'm doing this YouTube workout. They always had objections every time. And you have to overcome that. People have objections to why they should do something. And you have to convince them. That's the same thing it is that happens with women. So when you have a low interest woman, and when I mean by low interest, it means she's not ready to sleep with you right now. She'll make the date. She don't flake. She don't cancel. Guys, all that fuckery, we're not counting that. I'm not even talking about a woman who cancels and ain't nobody talking about that type of low interest. That's low interest. I call that no interest. That's bullshit. What I call low interest is she sets the date. She does everything. She shows up on time, all this, that, or maybe she show up a little late testing you or whatever. But she's there. That's what I call low interest. But she's not quite attracted to you to sleep with you yet. And you have to have the game plan, the right game plan to raise her interest to sleep with you. And that's the #1 pro to dealing with low interest women. If you see all these A-list celebrities, all of a sudden they get famous and all of a sudden they get all these girls sleeping with them. I'm just gonna remind y'all of the famous phrase Tupac said about Biggie. Was he said, he never had no women till he got some money. That ain't no pimp. That's a trick. That is essentially what he's saying is he had no game until he got rich. All right, and that's what you see what happened to a lot of celebrities. All of a sudden, Drake was a notorious simp. All right, it's girls who got pictures of him when he was coming up, sending him pictures with his shirt off and shit, trying to get girls. He was one of you motherfuckers. He was sending girls when he was first starting to try to, when he first started taking off as a rapper. He wasn't quite there when he was doing his little mixtape thing. He was all on fucking Black Planet and shit, sending girls. It's on the internet for any of you guys want to see it. Sending girls dick pics, picture with his shirt off and shit. Well, picture with him in his underwear. And she ain't gonna say he was naked in there, but picture him in his underwear, his shirt off and shit. And he said he was basically a simp. And basically once he came on, all of a sudden he didn't need game no more. Okay, guys. But for the overwhelming majority of you guys, you're going to need game, a game plan to raise a woman's interest. Period. And if you're wondering what low interest is, if she's not pursuing you, essentially it's what she's saying, guys, in so many words. I do not give a damn if you ever call me again. That's what that means. Okay. Number 2, you get confidence, and you get confidence basically in your game. And what I mean by that, guys, once you take one woman, let's say you have one woman, you can tell when a woman views you as a 5 or a 6. Everybody, you can tell on the date when she views you as a 5 or a 6. You can just kind of tell the way she look at you and shit like that right there. You could tell when a woman views you as a 5 or a 6. And what happens is, when you get that woman out to get attached to you, from the rest of your life, you think you could do that with any woman. Now, whether you can do it or not, who knows? But you think you can do it. It's any of you guys ever watch a football team or a basketball team that is good at comebacks, right? Say they good at coming back in the 4th quarter or something like that. What end up happening with these teams is, once they do 1 or 2 comebacks like that, they always think they can do it. Any of y'all guys see this? You see it. They always think they can come back. It's because they've built that confidence in their comeback ability. And what happens is, once you raise one woman's interest, and I don't even say sleep with her, but get her to where she's blowing up your phone, you think you can do that every fucking time. Every time. So it gives you confidence in your game. Okay, guys? Because now you think that, oh man, if I did it once, and I always, for the Notorious Sunday chick, y'all guys remember the Notorious Sunday chick of a year ago or so, maybe over a year now, all right? But I think we've been talking now, stop talking now, over a year. But the Notorious Sunday chick that I used to always talk about on my first videos and shit like that, the first date, and I don't reference this in past videos, she kissed me like she was kissing a fucking fish. And I always reminded her, I always joked on that. And I had her attached, guys. Okay? So, and for all y'all guys wondering what happened to her, like I tell y'all guys, if you're dealing with these women, you got about a year. And sometimes you can go a little longer as far as how long you can extend it, as far as how long she's going to let you, string her along, string her along, string her along. And I stringed her along for 2 years. All right. I stringed her along for 2 years. But y'all guys must understand that no matter how much a woman like you, if she's in that point where she's ready to settle down, at some point, I don't care how much she like you or nothing like that, at some point. Now, some women go longer than others. Some women let you string them along like this for 15 years. It just varies. All right. It just depends on the woman and stuff like this right here. Every woman's a little different. But I was able to string her along for 2 years. And eventually she got to the point where she was begging me for a baby at the end and wanted a bigger commitment. So there you go, guys. All right. So that's what happened to that, for all y'all guys who wondering what happened to that. But it builds your confidence. Next, guys, obviously you're going to sleep with more women. If you only want to deal with women who views you as a 9 or a 10, obviously I don't need to do a thorough breakdown of this. This is obviously common sense. You're going to sleep with more women, all right? So I don't really want to get into a whole bunch of breaking that down. That's common sense, all right? And last, guys, as far as the pros, you're going to learn compatibility matters. So when you doing over the course of dating women who have low interest and shit like that, what you end up realizing is, well, why was I able to raise this woman's interest, but I wasn't able to raise that woman's interest? Well, you quickly realize compatibility matters. So if you somebody and you date low interest women, you obviously are not going to be able to sleep with all of them. Well, why not? You still have the same game, right? You still got the same charisma. Well, why was you able to raise this woman's interest, but you wasn't able to raise this woman's interest? Well, guys, when you go on these dates, right, and you there talking to the woman, compatibility matters to the woman. It don't really mean shit to us because we still want to fuck regardless. I don't give a fuck if you like ice hockey and I ain't never watched ice hockey a day in my fucking life. I do know this. You have a vagina and I would like to fuck. With women, they can sleep with any man. Any man that they want. Married, single, gay. A woman can sleep with every man. So it doesn't matter to her as far as sex. Sex is nothing to a woman. Okay? What matters to a woman is, particularly, Is she find you attractive? And or do y'all have some things in common? When I say attractive, I'm not talking about just physical. I'm talking about, you know, your personality and everything, and compatibility. Do y'all have the same interests aligned? That matters to a woman. Sometimes a woman might don't care about compatibility, where she only cared about the physical, and the compatibility might not have mattered that much, where she just want to sleep with you. But if you're dealing with a woman who's in the mindset of looking for a relationship or somebody she wants to spend quality time with, and y'all don't have a lot of compatibility, that could be a deal breaker, guys. And when you deal, if you somebody who deal with low interest women, you gonna recognize this and not take shit personal. All right. If I was able to raise this woman's interest, but I wasn't able to raise that woman's interest, if you know anything about life, you don't take it personal. You just know we wasn't compatible. And now that don't mean nothing to me. I want you guys to just think about something for a minute. If you went on a date, right? And let's just say, for instance, compatibility matters to us as much as it matters to women. How many women you ask on a second date? Not many, right? Not many. A lot of women, you be on the first date and you be like, I wish she'd just shut the fuck up. But she has a vagina, so I'm gonna ask her out again. But if she didn't have that vagina, right? If she didn't have something that you wanted outside, and you just had to like her for her personality, as far as just spending time with, and she didn't have that vagina, how many women would you ask out on for a second date? What, 5% of them? You see what I'm saying? And so that's the point I'm saying. If you was a guy and you could get sex anywhere from any woman, then compatibility would matter to you too. Because sex would mean nothing because you can get it from anywhere. All right? So I want y'all guys to just think about this from the woman's perspective as why compatibility matters. She can get sex anywhere. There's a bunch of good-looking dudes, so good-looking dudes grow on trees. So that means nothing. So if she's somebody looking for somebody to spend quality time with, she's going to go to somebody she's compatible with, have the same interests, sitting listening to neo soul with incense blowing and Erykah Badu in the background while they fucking smoke hash and all this other bullshit. All right, somebody she's compatible with. If you somebody that's not into that, that could be a deal breaker. Okay? Now let's get to the cons. Number one con, waste time if you don't recognize the signs. So guys, the waste time part comes in on your end. On your end. You have to recognize when a woman is just doing something, passing time. Unfortunately, guys, women are selfish like that. And you know, that's just, I don't know why women are like that. Why would they date a guy that they're not interested in just to pass time? You would, guys, when y'all call a woman and y'all ask a woman out for a date and she says, well, we'll see, or I'll let you know, guys, y'all guys should be more appreciative, because the woman don't want to hurt your feelings. Move on. Okay, move on. Now, if you want to try again in 3 or 4 weeks, it's not the end of the fucking world, right? And the reason I say that, I wouldn't do it because y'all guys know, but let's say you somebody and you ain't had...
I didn't understand.
That was my fucking Google voice thing. It just got a fucking mind on their own. I didn't even say fucking, hey Google, the motherfucker just cuts on by fucking self. But anyway, you guys...
Sorry, I don't understand.
Guys, if you reached out to a woman 3-4 weeks later and you ain't had no ass in a fucking year, all right, 3-4 weeks later, and the reason why this wouldn't be the end of the world, because sometimes women will be dealing with their ex and shit like that. And so sometimes if you wait a month and hit her up in a month, maybe that done went on and weathered away. Because women start giving their numbers out when things at the end of their relationship start going bad. They start seeing it, right? So if you asked her out right then, she might tell you no, even though she was interested, because technically she's still in a relationship. And sometimes if you hit these girls up a month later, that's done with. So that's why I say it's not the end of the world. Technically, really, I wouldn't do it because I don't have to do it. But if you're a guy that don't have the options that I have, I do understand. The thing what I want you guys to pay attention to is, pay attention to the woman's interest on the fucking date. And what I say about this, and this is something you could do over the phone before you even go on a date, does she sound interested? Is she asking you questions? A woman that wants to get to know you, she will ask you questions. If you're not getting things what she's asking you, she's just passing time. All right. And you have to recognize that, because women are selfish like that. Some women would tell you, you know, some women will tell you, we'll see, I'll let you know, because they don't want to hurt your feelings and tell you flat out no. So they'll tell you, we'll see, and hoping you get the hint. But it's up to you guys to understand the signs, all right? Because unfortunately, we have a lot of selfish women out who would rather go on a date, waste your time, get all that attention and free validation, all right, just to pass time while her and her boyfriend on break, or till she meet a dude she really interested in. Unfortunately, guys. Number 2, it can kill confidence in your game. Now, and what I mean by this, guys, is you met a woman, she sees you as a 5 or a 6, she was making dates, she went on 2 dates with you, and then on the 3rd date, she don't want to go on the 3rd date. And so what ends up happening is it kills confidence in your ability to raise a woman's interest, because you know you had a chance. You know I had a chance because she went on the dates, and now she don't want to make plans with me. And so what ends up happening is now you lose the confidence in your game when you deal with low interest women. Okay, you don't have this issue when you deal with only high interest women, but when you deal with low interest women and you don't raise their interest, just like I saw this at the gym with trainers, guys. If they went up to 5 people, by the end of the week they was gone, because they had lost all their confidence in their ability to close a sale. Okay, guys, so that's another con of dealing with low interest women. Lose confidence in sex appeal. When everything that goes on with rejection in men immediately go to sex appeal. My head too big, I'm too short, I'm too bald. Men never look at no other variables in the equation. Everything is directly linked. I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too short, I'm too bald-headed, my ears too big, my teeth too big. Men never think like, maybe I'm just not her type. Maybe we're not compatible. Men, everything goes. When y'all guys see these incels on here talking about Chads, who they talk about? The Chads and Tyrones, the good-looking guys. Essentially what happened is they went on a fucking date, the woman didn't like them, and they jumped right to the conclusion that they're ugly. They go up to one woman, she rejects them. I'm ugly. Now, I can't be the only one that done seen some of these incel guys that thought like, this dude is not even a bad looking dude. Well, what happened? He let a couple of rejections send him right to his physical. And this is why they rejected me, because I'm ugly and I'm short. Craziest shit in the fucking world. But that is another consequence of dealing with low interest women, guys. But the thing is, guys, all these cons are really in your head. It's all on you. You have to have a mindset of abundance. Next, guys, you start to fear rejection. So when you deal with low interest women, what ends up happening is a couple of them, and if any of y'all guys pay attention to any of this stuff, this is what happened to the incel guys. This is what happened to them. They went on, none of the incel, they had dates. They didn't close on the dates. And what ends up happening is they build up a fear of rejection. Now they don't even want to approach women because a couple of bad experiences. All this comes from just not having an abundance mindset. Basically, guys, the abundance mindset is, if we're going to break it down in simpler terms, just meaning that, you know what, I know that out there's somebody that likes me. That's basically what the abundance mindset is. Knowing that I'm not going to let one person phrase the way I feel about myself, or a couple of people, or a couple hundred people. I know that, you know what, if I talk to enough people, there are going to be some women out there that like me and some that don't. That's when you break down the abundance mindset. That's what it is. That's what it is in so many words. And last, guys, start projecting negative past experiences. And you know what, that one right there is the number one. It's the number one. When the guys send me emails, This is the #1 reason why I think I get a lot of those emails. So what happens is, guys, one woman lost attraction. They meet another woman and she starts to pull back a little bit, might not even lost interest. Let me talk about this for a second, guys. You meet a woman, right? You meet a woman, you're dating a woman. It's hot and heavy the first month. It's not going to keep up that way, guys. That don't mean she's lost interest. When you meet a new love, when it's fresh, it's always hot and heavy at the beginning. If things cool off, it doesn't mean you're losing that woman. It just means that the newness don't wear off, the novelty. Okay, guys? It don't mean that, oh, I'm losing her. So what happens is, guys lost one girl, she lost attraction, they lost her. They got this new girl, things was hot and heavy at the beginning, and from past experiences, they start saying, uh-oh, I'm losing her too. And they start projecting. They start projecting. But that's in a relationship term. As in dealing with a low interest woman at the beginning, what happens is they date one low interest woman, they go on a second date, and she starts acting like the new girl that day starts acting like the last girl who pulled away from them or that lost the attraction. And so now they start projecting over here. And so what ends up happening is they'll quit this girl, call themselves ending it before she get like this girl because they seen this book before. And oh, she's doing the same thing. And so what it end up happening is, and it might not even be that. Projecting, guys. Projecting your negative experiences. She might have really got busy, but they past experiences told them, no, that's not her getting busy. This is low interest and she's losing interest. So what the guy do is he'll pull back and sort of like keep himself like from getting too invested in her when that might not even been what it was. Just negative past experiences has told him, oh, I've seen this show before and I see where this is headed. So he'll pull back and not knowing that that's not even what it was. Okay, guys? So that's another caveat of dealing with low interest women, guys. You start projecting negative past experiences from other girls who lost interest. All right, guys, this video went way longer than I wanted to go. All right, I'll get back with you guys later.